before you leave. And they just may need to know, oh, yeah, this. But again, we talk about re-rolls of trucks. We don't want to re-roll that truck out there and not make $1 off of it. So we're actually going to lose about $100, $200 depending. So we don't want that to happen. And now follow-up wise, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So if a tech has to go out again, does the customer eat that cost, or does the retailer eat that cost?
If a tech has to go back out and it's tech driven, the retail store ultimately is eating that cost. So in order to kind of help, so depending on how much area you have, how many stores, how many managers you're going to have, field managers per your area, then the field manager, we break it down to a field manager level P&L. So even though the P&L is ultimately being paid for by the retail location, all the dollars are coming out, we create basically what would be a fictional P&L, right? It's only existing so you can see the dollars flowing in and out. And that individual manager has the ability to manage profitability and be able to go back and check, okay, here's your percentage of what we would call redos or re-rolls, however you want to call it. Here's your percentage of re-rolls. This is what it's costing us on a P&L. We need this to change, and then you set guidelines and expectations there. But I can promise you, no matter how good you are, the reality is you can expect probably a 5% redo rate and have to just live and be happy with it. Of course, we want 0. We aim, our goals are somewhere around 3, but realistically, all in all, services and client and people in electronics, like 5% is an acceptable place to be. But over that, you're going to find it really hard to be profitable. Yeah,
got it. So so our techs, are they assigned to a retail location and then they just handle the appointments that come out that go through that particular retail location?
So we started the program that way, where every location had a home theater, at least one, and a PC technician and delivery appliance technician. So that's how it started. We have, over the last several years, gone to what we call a hub model, where, and this really depends on your setup. Do you, let me ask you, and you can say you can't really answer if you don't want to, but what's your concentration of like stores in a location? And is it like more metropolitan or is it more of a rural type setup?
We have all kinds.
Okay. So in the metro areas, it's easy to link all of them together and have them as a pool, maybe even a central starting location. So I don't know if you have like a distribution center or not, but if the distribution center is in the middle of your cluster of stores, then having your fulfillment folks start there gives you a couple of advantages. One, being centralized, and they go out, they do their routes in various areas, and then they all come back at the end of the day. The other benefit is inventory management. Your inventory of picking up product from each store is significantly going to impact everyone's profitability in that light, because stores often are very lightly staffed in their warehouses compared to their sales floors, which makes sense, right? You have to make money first. But this means getting in and out of a store with a technician is extremely difficult. You are fighting the culture of grabbing the dollars on the sales floor, but you're spending $25 an hour to stand there. And if you have a team of 2, you're probably spending $25 an hour for the lead tech and $15 an hour for the assistant tech. So that's going to suck a lot of money out of each stop every time you have to go pick up a product. So I highly recommend having all of that centralized product at a DDC or a location, a warehouse, cross stock, whatever you may be using as your point of launch. However, in rural areas, you don't have that option, right? You're going to have to do the best you can. And that's, again, where the relationship between the technicians and the retail location and the leadership of the technicians and the leadership of the retail location are working hand in hand. And there's no wall up where it's us versus them mentality, where you have to be a unified company regardless of your area of expertise.
Yeah. Could you go back to so I think you mentioned for a typical customer journey, there's like the core and then there's like the premium process. Yep. So what does that entail?